Hi and welcome. My name's Tolan and I'm the co-founder of ProductivityMe. In this video, we'll look at the keyboard shortcuts of Ctrl equals, Ctrl minus, and Ctrl 0. 3 tricks for zooming in and out of any internet browser tab. As we mentioned in the last video, a common method to zoom in and out of your browser's tab is to use one of the browser-specific menus, and that menu's related zoom buttons. Thus, if you were to open up Google Chrome and tap that browser-specific menu, you could then use that menu's zoom buttons in order to zoom in or out as you please. Also discussed in the last lesson, you might use the combination of the Control key and your mouse's scroll wheel. Holding the Control key and scrolling forward with your mouse's wheel would thus zoom you into your browser, while on the other hand, you could hold the Control key and scroll backwards. Thus, you would zoom out of that browser's tab. My personal preference, however, is to use one or more of the following keyboard shortcuts, that of Ctrl equals, Ctrl minus, or Ctrl 0. Identical to the functionality of manually clicking in your browser's menu and selecting the plus or minus zoom choices, you can instead use the combination of Ctrl equals to zoom in, or you could use the combination of Ctrl minus to zoom out. I would note that on your keyboard, the equal sign is the same as the plus key. It's located 2 keys to the right of your 9 key. Thus, these are 2 practical keyboard shortcuts, that of Ctrl equals and Ctrl minus, and are preferred methods to zoom in and out of any browser tab. Let's look at an example. If you were to go to wikipedia.org and search for the phrase Windows 8, once the page results have loaded, press the equals key. While holding the Control key, each additional time that you press the equals key will zoom further into the display of your browser's current web page. On a separate note, you could then use the Control minus key combination to zoom out. At this point, we might want to mention that many browsers have a maximum and minimum level of zoom. For example, the current maximum and minimum levels for Google Chrome seem to be 500% and 25%. Thus, if you were in Google Chrome and were to have zoomed to 500%, then when you want to return to your browser's default zoom of 100%, one possibility is to use the Control and minus key keyboard combination as discussed above. Were you to do this, you would need to hold the Control key and press the minus key 9 times. Pressing the Control key and minus key 9 times would thus reset your browser from 500% zoom, where you started, back down to the normal 100% default zoom level. Alternatively, if you wanted to get from your 500% zoom level back to the 100% zoom level, you could press the Control key and use your mouse's scroll wheel to zoom out. Of course, if you're using Google Chrome, a third option would be to click the little dialog box labeled Restore to Default, which pops up every time that you zoom in or out of your browser using the Control equals or Control minus keyboard shortcuts. Lastly, a more efficient method that I like to use is to use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl 0. Pressing Ctrl 0 instantly snaps your browser's tab back to the default zoom level of 100%. Thus, no matter how zoomed in or out you might be, pressing Ctrl 0 can be immensely practical as a method to get back to your browser's default zoom level. Having covered these different strategies for zooming, we're now at the end of our discussion on how to more efficiently use your internet browser. In our next video, we'll look at the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Alt-V. More specifically, we'll examine how paste special can be used within the context of Microsoft Word. And with that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.